First and foremost, I'd wish to send my condolence to Catherine Kasavuli's son, to her relatives, her friends, her colleagues, and her millions of supporters, admirers, and followers. She's one of the greatest Kenyans to ever have lived. I can say that she's too close, yet too far. I want to say she's too close, yet too far, because she was born and brought up in Nairobi West. I am more than 6 or 7 months older than her, so we are age mates. I was brought up in Madaraka Estate, that is just next to Nairobi West. She went to Pangani Girls. I was at Nairobi Technical. She was a classmate or a schoolmate with Marie Wandaka, the famous. Marie Wandaka was my primary school classmate. I'm talking, she could be her classmate or whatever, because I do not know whether they were the same year or different years. So you see, we were close, but up to the time of her death, I've never met her personally. The closest I can say, maybe it is two ways. One is she was wrongly referred to the Kanda Bongo Man and Moi. I'll explain that, and actually that is why I recorded this. So I think that is how close we are. And secondly, there was a time I was featured on newspaper and she was the anchor. God is great that she died. Many people say that she's the first pioneer lady news anchor. Well, it could be true, or if there are other pioneer lady anchors, they didn't go far. You see, you could be the first one, and then after a few years you disappear, people forget you. So she was among the first ones, and she kept on consistently up to a few weeks to her death. It is only her sickness that stopped her from anchoring news. So that is why, whether rightly or wrongly, she is referred as the pioneer lady anchor. She died, that is a pioneer lady anchor in Kenya. She died 2 days earlier than Barbara Walters. Barbara Walters, the way you describe Catherine Kasavuli is the way the Americans describe Barbara Walters. Barbara Walters was the pioneer lady in the ABC News channel in America. So Catherine Kasavuli died 48 hours ahead of Barbara. So both of them, one being known in America and the other one known in Kenya, they have all died within 48 hours of each other. I will start with the later issue, because there are two, where she anchored an item concerning me, and then I'll come back to the Moi, Kanda Bongo Man and herself, which was completely false. And Catherine, as I said, I never knew her, but I knew her only from the screen. But the way I know her from far, I believe she's very understanding and must have forgiven Kenyans for wrongly implicating her in something that she never took part in. The second issue is Justice Njoki Ndung'u of the Supreme Court was once a nominated MP, and she came up with a bill that was that rapists, especially men, should be castrated. And you know, those days were the earlier days when, today you'll be shocked if you tell somebody that I do not have a phone. People get shocked. It's like saying I do not have an ID. But those days we used to have this Bible called Gideon's. You would walk with your SIM card in the Bible, reach somewhere, tell somebody, can I have this phone call? Can I have your phone to use my... And you see the phone you'd be given were these, today they are being called Mulikamwizi. Tumetoka mbali. I'm recording this using an iPhone 7. So tumetoka mbali. That time, I went to a neighbor, asked for the phone. I wanted to make a few phone calls, and then I found that a reporter, not a reporter, a cameraman with KTN called Agri Mutali. I don't know whether the Christian name is Agri, but I remember it was Mutali. He had repeatedly called me, and you know, after placing there my SIM card, obviously the message went to him straight, telling him that the number you're trying to call is now available. So Mutali called me and told me that there was something important he wanted us to discuss. I rushed to town. Mutali told me about Njoki Ndung'u's bill, and then I took a few minutes trying to digest my reaction. Because, you know, when you have been seen on TV for several times, whenever there is something that has happened, people, when they are watching news, they see your face, they want to listen to you to see. So your impact is stronger than ordinary people. So I said, okay, I'm ready. And he said, can you please be, it has to be very short. It has to be a minute or so. Then I remembered the Bible, and then I quoted that part of the Bible where they say that if your hand makes you sin and not go to heaven, then you'd rather cut off the hand and go to heaven. So I said that if the guy's other hand made them sin, let the hand be cut, then they go to heaven. That day the anchor was Casavuli, and I remember when I was shown, when it was saying, now let us hear what people on the street have about the Njoki Ndung'u bill. When I said it and it ended, when the cameras went back to Casavuli, she giggled. I remember that. And then toward the end of that newscast, they used to have, KTN used to have this part which used to be called quote of the day. And again, they showed me that quote. So that is the nearest I've been with her. The other time was to do with the misinformation, the unfortunate misinformation about her and the Kanda Bongo Man and Moi. With due respect to her son, because some things like this social media, it would go and even reach far and wide. Casavuli is, I'm talking about women, I don't know about ladies, but men, especially when you are idling and whatever, you compare women. And I can assure you, there is no man of my age and above who never admired Catherine Kasavuli. She was so beautiful. She's the type of a girl you'd want to date. Of course, with due apologies to her son. So, those people who wrongly implicated her in that, deliberately did that. And you know, I used to work for special branch, so I know that when you have done something wrong and you give a diversionary, juicy story, it goes so much that whatever you wanted to be hidden is hidden forever. It is hidden forever. It will never, or so you, if you wish. So, Kanda Bongo Man was chased because of other issues. But trying to place it with the Moi and the Casavuli, and you see, Moi had that character. Moi was single, a divorcee, and I can speak authoritatively, may his soul rest in peace, that because I happened to have attended a VIP protection course, and I used to interact with security personnel in State House. Moi used to have organized for vehicles to bring in prominent ladies. Their looks could be in that league of Casavuli, but I can authoritatively say that Casavuli was not one of them. You remember Mutula Kilonzo, the senator who died and Viagra was found next to his bed. A certain lady was said to have been, you know, it was hidden that a lady had visited Mutula Kilonzo, and her identity was, she was caught on CCTV, but her identity was not talked. But then people talked about a certain lady in the media, a colleague of Catherine Kasavuli, said that it must have been lady so and so. The lady came out publicly and said, I usually visit that place, but that day it was not me. So we people who are trained in VIP protection, we take these rumors as part of our job, because I have never, up to today, up to the time of recording this, I have never stepped into any state house or state lodges. But we have those people who coordinate things from far. Just like when you have a public function, you have producers on the let's say Nyayo Stadium, but then we have other producers in a broadcasting house. So we used to monitor State House, we used to organize about security at State House, and we used to know that we had to organize things bearing in mind that women used to visit Moi. We could brief those G company. There were, GSU were two types. At the gate we used to have G company, but loitering within state houses were the REC company, the R company. So we could brief them, we could factor into state security, the security of the head of state, by talking about visitors who used to visit him. And Moi used to tell those at the gate, he could say, come and give them the number plate of a vehicle that was coming, and say that that vehicle will be tinted and should not be inspected and should. But somehow the G company and the REC company would know the identity of those ladies. I can authoritatively say that Catherine Kasavuli never visited State House. But her name was deliberately placed there. You know, even saying, okay, assuming Lady Gaga used to visit State House, you know, even disclosing her was a security risk. Her going to State House, whatever, she could be recruited to go and kill the president. So we knew who visit. I hope I've said it enough. We knew who the ladies who used to visit there, but to the best of my knowledge, Catherine Kasavuli was not one of them. Although in looks and whatever and the presentation, she fitted very well in those, the type of ladies Moi did. And maybe, don't know, maybe Moi once or twice tried to call her. Because men have this, we men have this ukitongoza msichana kukataa, unamharibia jina. Casavuli, no, the reason why Kanda Bongo Man was chased, nobody knows it better than Obachi Machoka and Kanda Bongo Man himself. They know better than I do, better than you do, better than all of us do. What happened? Kanda Bongo Man was a Kikuyu. Hakuna kazi ya bure. You tell him do this, he says it will cost you so much. So Kanda Bongo Man came, and Hezekiah Oyugi's daughter was being married around the same time. So it was hastened to fit in that time, so that the guests who are going to Hezekiah Oyugi's wedding were supposed to be entertained freely by Kanda Bongo Man. And you know, Kanda Bongo Man was brought in by the Kenyan government. So the permanent secretary in the office of the president, Hezekiah Oyugi, used that opportunity to say that since you have been brought by the Kenya government, and on day this, on day that, you will be free. He was not even to be free. It is only that it was arranged so that one day he is free. On that day when you are supposed to be free, coincidentally, is the day my daughter is getting married. Can you go and entertain those visitors free of charge? Then Kanda Bongo Man said, you go and talk to my manager. After you pay my manager, then you can arrange with my manager for me too. Then that is when Hezekiah Oyugi, you know, Moi was funny. You just go to Moi and tell him, hey, huyu jamaa anakutafuta vibaya sana. So Oyugi went to Moi and said, Kanda Bongo Man, and whatever he said. Then Moi said Kanda Bongo Man should leave immediately. That is when he was chased away immediately. It also affects me because I'm a Rumba person, and you can see the DRC flag. When Kanda Bongo Man was unceremoniously chased away in the plane, that is when he sang the song Muchana, Okolukangai, Butu Nyoso na Muchana. Muchana ni Kiswahili. So he was saying that you will come looking for me day and night. Now you know, my sister, my age mate, Catherine Kasavuli, kende malamu tokomona na mokolo mosusu. Amen.